Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
Rushes to understand.
They shoot you straight up and drop you like a stone.
It's not an intellectual experience. It's not even really an emotional one. It's a purely physical experience.
Oh my God! Ah!
They can twist you in a knot and turn you inside out.
Your body is thrown into contortions you've never experienced before.
While some rocket through the sky, others race across the ground.
We are a novelty-seeking species, and once we get accustomed to something, we need something more.
They make some scream for mercy, and others beg for more.
Most people go to an amusement park to have the devil scared out of them.
They test your courage and push you to the limit.
Takes you beyond the borders of anything you've tried before. It's a wild, out-of-control experience.
They are speed, thrills, and fear all rolled into one.
Woo! What a rush!
They are extreme rides. Mad Mouse, Tilt-A-Whirl, Roundup, Scrambler. For decades, these aptly named contraptions have excited and, in some cases, nauseated millions of thrill seekers at amusement parks and county fairs throughout the United States. But in recent years, a new breed of ride has emerged. Taking its inspiration from radical sports, the extreme ride taps into the excitement and adrenaline rush of skydiving, bungee jumping, drag racing, and whitewater rafting.
A lot of people don't have the opportunity to maybe go to the Colorado River or take a ride on a space shuttle or maybe even jump out of a plane. But the extreme rides give people the chance to experience some of these things that they can't normally do.
The sensation, the experience you get, your body is thrown into contortions you've never experienced before. Totally different from the humdrum of everyday life. You're not thinking about your job, you're not thinking about school, you're not thinking about anything but what's going to happen to you next and whether you can survive it.
It's called the Rocket. This towering extreme ride at Dinosaur Beach in Wildwood, New Jersey, evolved from bungee jumping technology. But unlike bungee jumping, which uses giant-sized rubber bands to slow a jumper's descent, the Rocket launches its passengers more than 150 feet into the air at more than 65 miles per hour.
I would describe it as like a giant slingshot. It's basically, if you could think of what a rock would feel like being thrown out of a slingshot, that's what your body feels like when you're thrown out of this.
This human catapult, designed and constructed by Gravity Works, combines specifically engineered equipment with existing technologies and hardware from a variety of other applications. Rocket riders are securely strapped in with 5-point safety harnesses, the same kind used in F-15 fighter jets. the ride's reinforced steel cockpit is engineered to withstand over 10 times the acceleration produced by the ride. Electric winches slowly tighten two 150-foot bungee cords. These cords are stretched between 180-foot tall twin towers, manufactured by a company that also produces radio towers. Each of these 5-inch thick, tightly wound cords is made up of over 2,000 individual rubber strands. To ensure safety, the cords are fitted with nylon safety backups and replaced after every 500 launches. Once the bungee cords have been stretched to their limit, the operator simply pulls the release handle and blasts off.
Oh, man! Oh! God. What a rush! Oh, man. Whoa! Ah, man, that feels funny. Whoa, man!
Since its initial launch in the summer of 1997, the rocket has hurled more than 10,000 screaming thrill-seekers skyward.
That was great.
It felt like you were flying. It's like a rush. I am shaking so bad.
Humankind has long dreamt of soaring like a bird. And while many courageous souls have lived this age-old dream by skydiving and hang gliding, the rush of sailing through the heavens has remained elusive for those of us not quite so brave of heart.
I love skydiving because you can't be born with wings, but you sure can fly. And that's what Sky Coaster is all about. But some things you can only do way up here.
Bill Kitchen took his passion for real-life free-fall adventures and turned it into a skydiving simulation sensation.
I enjoyed skydiving so much, I had so much fun that I wanted to share that thrill with people to whom skydiving wasn't necessarily accessible. And so that's how we dreamed up Sky Coaster.
The Sky Coaster at Kennywood Park in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, is basically a giant swing. Towering over 180 feet above the ground, flyers soar along a 350-foot arc.
2, 1, do it.
It's the closest thing you can get to flying without a plane.
But before they can earn their wings, flyers are given a crash course in safety and ride procedures.
Okay, clap your hands together, dive on through, arms out the side, head in the middle.
Flyers strap into a Sky Coaster harness equipped with a ripcord.
Okay, who's gonna pull the ripcord tonight?
Me.
Okay, when you get to the top.
And just like real skydivers, Sky Coaster participants determine just when the fun begins.
Do not touch it till you get to the top, and don't pull it until you hear fly. Just stand right there, face that way, and drop your football.
The harnessed flyers are connected to a 5/16-inch thick braided steel cable, the same kind used to lift elevators.
Okay, lean forward.
Once in their pole position, flyers begin their ascent.
3, 2, 1, fly, then you pull, all right? All right. Here we go.
The Sky Coaster can harness up to 3 people at a time. Flyers are lifted more than 200 feet and pulled backwards towards the launch tower. For many, this 1-minute trip seems like an eternity to ponder what lies ahead.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, fly.
Here we go.
Suddenly you realize it doesn't feel like you're falling at all. It feels like you're flying like a bird. Everyone wants to be Peter Pan or Superman or Supergirl. It's just built into us to want to share that thrill of flight with the birds. People love the thrill of free fall. People want to live on a higher plane, to share a more exciting existence, to feel that adrenaline.
There's nothing else like it. It's a 200-foot drop, and you swing down past the ground about 6 feet. You think you're gonna just smash right into it, and you go straight up into the air. And it's just a rush. One awesome ride.
When you're first released at that sudden free fall before that wire finally connects you, oh, that's where the true adrenaline rush comes in. It's awesome.
Yeah! Extreme rides are going to get bigger, faster, and taller. Our first sky coaster was 100 feet tall, and we thought that would be an incredible thrill. Pretty soon, we built a 250-footer. Now we're building a 300-footer in Orlando. And we have a 500-foot ride on the drawing board.
Extreme rides like Busch Gardens Alpengeist and the Ultra Twister at Six Flags Astroworld are among the most recent innovations in the amusement park industry. Many of these high-tech creations are the direct descendants of a generation of amusement rides that emerged during the daredevil decade of the 1920s.
People were sick of World War I. They were looking for any kind of escape, any kind of thrill, and they would test it beyond its limits. We had the greatest roller coasters ever built in that era. But there was also fierce competition to be the longest, fastest, strangest, and scariest roller coaster in the world. For that reason, it was a very dangerous time. Inventors were treating riders as guinea pigs.
In 1959, a technological breakthrough ushered in a new era of thrills. Steel tubular tracks revolutionized roller coaster design and safety.
The steel tubular track allowed the roller coaster designers to do different elements that are not possible with wood track roller coasters.
For the first time, riders experienced incredible hair-raising loops, dives, and corkscrew spins.
The wheels are a steel wheel with a polyurethane tread, basically. So you get a smoother ride, and you also get a quieter ride.
The ride experience on a wood coaster is dramatically different. Steel wheels roll along a flat steel track and generate a loud and rather bumpy ride. One of the most unique steel tubular track coasters in the world can be found at Six Flags Astroworld in Houston, Texas. The Ultra Twister uses a tubular structure to put a radical spin on the extreme ride experience. Passengers are dropped 9 stories straight down at more than 63 feet per second. Then thrust into a 360-degree barrel roll. just when they think it's over, they must endure 2 more barrel rolls, this time in reverse.
This is the only coaster like this in the United States. It's really very unique. The very first time I rode it, I was in the very front seat, and you go up the lift hill, and then you come over the crest of the lift hill, and you look like straight down. My hands got wet, and I started screaming because it really scared me. And it was just absolutely incredible.
The Ultra Twister gets its name from the fact it does the barrel rolls. It does 3 heartline rolls, and you can't get that anywhere else. It's almost simulated what you'd get in an F-16 fighter doing a barrel roll.
The Ultra Twister and other extreme rides have been designed in part to simulate the maneuvers of high-speed flight. Rolls, loops, and nosedives are common features of these state-of-the-art attractions. Alpengeist at Busch Gardens in Williamsburg, Virginia, is the latest in the evolution of these rides and one of the world's tallest, fastest, most twisted inverted coasters.
You ride hanging below the track instead of on top of the track. There's no floor to the train. Your feet are dangling. You can look below you and there's just nothing there.
The technology is allowing us to do things that couldn't be done 10 and 15 years ago. You're able to design and build things that are much more impressive and much more intense. Has the largest inverted loop of any coaster in the country. It's a 106-foot vertical loop. It turns you upside down 6 different times in 6 different areas of the park. It's an extremely tall lift. It's 195 feet tall. The way we've themed it to be a runaway ski lift experience and fit it in with the terrain, the way it's been designed, where elements allow you a little bit of anticipation before you get into them, all add to a fun, thrilling ride experience.
Ride enthusiast Danny Biggerstaff knows every twist and turn of the Alpengeist intimately. He has hopped aboard this extreme ride more than 500 times.
Riding something like this is like riding in a biplane and just doing all kinds of aerial maneuvers. It's got vertical loops, cobra rolls, a lot of G-forces, all different types of elements thrown together. The wind's blowing in your face and messing your hair. You just go wild. A lot of people ask me, what do I do for fun? I tell them I ride roller coasters. They look at me like I'm crazy. I really don't consider it as a daredevil. I just consider it fun, and I'd rather be riding a roller coaster than doing almost anything else.
Research has recently shown that there may actually be a link between extreme ride junkies like Danny and their high-flying jet pilot counterparts.
I believe that there's a personality type involved in all of this. I call it the type T personality, and the T stands for thrills. These are thrill-seeking, risk-taking, excitement-seeking, stimulation-seeking, arousal-seeking people. It's like they need it. They've got to have that stimulation, and if they don't get it on the roller coaster, they're going to get it somewhere else. Oh, yeah! So it has enormous motivating qualities. That's why you have these aficionados who travel America just riding the roller coasters.
But not all of us relish the white-knuckled terror of these contraptions.
They're there are people for whom those kinds of stimulation are far too stimulating. It's very unpleasant. It can literally be painful. And it's certainly not something that they would seek out.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Megan Clark is an employee of Busch Gardens, but she is not a fan of extreme rides.
You don't understand. Oh, no.
But despite her natural aversion to high-speed coasters, Megan volunteered to ride Alpengeist with her friends, who reassured her she would enjoy the experience.
Deborah! Oh my God!
According to experts like Frank Farley and Sigrid Gustafsson, there's a wide variety of human response to rides like Alpengeist. From the elation and euphoria of those like Danny Biggerstaff to the genuine terror of Megan Clark, who in the end did not enjoy her experience.
Those are the people who, if they accidentally got on one, would come off not laughing and screaming, but ashen-faced and shaking and ready to throw up, and they wouldn't do it again.
I kept saying that was it, and that was not it. Oh, no. It was not fun.
Rebury Channel.
Every year, millions of people seek out the heart-pounding thrills of extreme rides.
You don't know when you're going to fall, and then all of a sudden you just drop.
You just go straight down, you feel like you're gonna just hit the ground 200 miles per hour.
My stomach is still up there, but it was great.
The intensity of these rides is served up in a myriad of ways. Some deliver pulse-pounding excitement by using one of the most basic forces on Earth, gravity. Kennywood Park in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania is home to the Pitfall, the tallest and fastest free-fall ride in the world.
It's a rush.
Yeah.
It's a real rush.
It's incredible. Oh my God, your stomach just drops.
Oh, the free fall, it's exciting. It's a lot of fun.
I can't talk. It's wild. It's wild.
16 passengers, strapped into 4 seating modules, are lifted 251 breathtaking feet above the park. Then dropped like stones. Just 90 feet above the ground, a custom-designed permanent magnetic braking system slows the riders to a safe and gentle stop.
Well, is my underwear around my neck?
We have a vehicle that's reaching a speed of 62 miles an hour, weighs 3,000 pounds, run every 2 minutes, and friction brakes just wouldn't be economical on this type of ride due to the maintenance and wear and tear and everything. The permanent magnets are also pretty much fail-safe because when you lose power, you still have brakes no matter what.
For the seasoned extreme rider, the most appealing characteristic of the Pitfall is what is commonly referred to as airtime. Those precious few gut-wrenching seconds where riders actually lift off their seats and experience 0 Gs.
Hi, we're on the Pitfall at Kennywood in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
High school physics teacher and extreme ride enthusiast Ed Henke has devised a simple experiment to illustrate what happens to earthbound objects during freefall.
free fall. We're going to demonstrate a state of free fall here in a few seconds when this ride tops out at 250 feet. I want you to pay attention to the spheres. We're locked off. I'm going to pay attention to what I have to do here. Watch the spheres. Free fall.
Observed again in slow motion, the spheres appear to defy gravity. But actually, they're falling at the same speed as everything around them, creating the illusion of weightlessness.
Oh, God.
This demonstration, using digital heart rate monitors, graphically illustrates the pulse-racing, fear-inducing effects that the pitfall has on first-time riders.
I can't believe how high we are.
Nice view.
As they ascend the Mammoth Tower, the riders' anxieties increase. Their fears can be clearly observed, and so can their rapidly increasing heart rates.
Oh, geez, geez.
Whoa!
Oh, my God!
Whoa!
Oh my gosh.
I can sing in the Vienna Boys Choir now.
While the pitfall drops you like a stone, the big shot in Las Vegas uses gravity in a different way. It shoots you straight up in the air, like an arrow. 32,000 pounds of thrust rockets riders skyward. After they drop, the ride undulates to a stop.
It catapults you 160 feet in 2.5 seconds. It pulls 4 Gs and a -1 G coming back down.
Adding to the thrills is the ride's awe-inspiring location. The Big Shot hovers 1,000 feet above the Las Vegas Strip atop the Stratosphere, one of the world's tallest hotels.
Big Shot, it induces a certain amount of fear because you just don't know what's going to happen until you ride it. You're 1,000 feet in the air, and all of a sudden you fly up, and you feel like you're never going to stop. Once you take off, you feel like you could just touch the sky. You're going to break through and go into outer space.
I did it. It was great. It was exhilarating.
While rides like the Big Shot use new technology to deliver thrills not even imagined just a few years ago, others are putting a new spin on more classic forms of fun.
One type of ride that's been around since the beginning of mechanical amusement rides is now referred to as the spin and puke or the spin and barf ride. And that's a ride that stays in one place but spins you around in all kinds of different directions. And it just is so completely disorienting that you don't know what's happening to you.
One of the latest generations of these topsy-turvy attractions can be found at Knobel's Resort in Ellisburg, Pennsylvania. Known simply as the Axis, this high-tech ride spins and tumbles its passengers in a dizzying array of movement. This 25-ton contraption of polished chrome and flashing lights lifts 24 riders 48 feet in the air, turning them head over heels in 360-degree loops.
As
as we spin upside down again. Hopefully nobody gets sick.
To my knowledge, nobody has had a illness problem on the ride. We did put a hose here, expecting that we were going to have to use it quite often, but it hasn't materialized.
This is nothing like I've ever ridden before in my life. The extreme attraction of a so-called spin and puke ride is the challenge that you put on yourself. Will I make it? Will I be able to get through the ride without fainting? Will I come back alive? All those are very important parts of the allure of an extreme ride or an extreme experience. This is nothing like I've ever ridden before. It's quite an experience, and let me tell you, this is one extreme ride.
They careen across asphalt at more than 300 miles an hour in a race that lasts less than 5 seconds. The perfect combination of man, machine, and speed. Now, thanks to Malibu Speed Zone, the fast-paced, rubber-burning excitement of racing dragsters is available to anyone with an urge to put the pedal to the metal.
Hi, I'm Ralph Lord. I'm in a top eliminator dragster at Malibu Speed Zone. I'm one of 6 racers strapped into 18-foot-long, 300-horsepower dragsters that under our control will rocket us from 0 to 70 in about 3 seconds. Yellow, 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 green! Yeah! That is extremely fast and extremely fun.
I think there is just a natural tendency to test the limits of the human body, and speed is one of those. The dragsters are unique because the customer very much controls the experience. With many extreme rides, you're buckled in, you go for a ride. With the dragsters, however, you floor it and give the car energy to go forward. You shift gears, which gives it another surge of power, and you jump off the line when the light turns green to get the fastest time.
We display both time and position on the scoreboard. You may often get a faster time but have a worse position because of your reaction time off the line. This is just like in real drag racing.
The Top Fuel Eliminator Dragster gives you all that excitement and rush of the real thing, but the complete safety factor is built in. The fear factor is that you just don't think it could stop. But there's a computerized braking system with a backup and a backup and a backup, and it stops comfortably.
Nearly everything about these theme park dragsters is identical to their real-life racing counterparts.
The Top Eliminator Dragster is a real drag racing car. This car is similar to what you would find at any event in the United States. It's powered by a 350 cubic inch small block Chevrolet motor. This motor develops 300 horsepower and is coupled to a turbo 350 transmission. The tire is a 29-inch tall, 12-inch wide drag racing slick, just like you'd find any other rubber burner at any drag racing event. Another thing that makes the Top Eliminator Dragster unique is the way we monitor the car. Each of these is a microprocessor-based computer that monitors both direction and position of the car on the track.
In addition, oil, fuel, and engine pressures are also monitored. All of the information is transmitted to the control tower. So at the first sign of any malfunction, the car or lane can be repaired. To ensure safety and keep the cars running in tip-top racing condition, daily maintenance is performed by certified mechanics. With current locations in Atlanta, Dallas, and Los Angeles, Malibu Speed Zone parks are giving millions a license to thrill.
putting yourself into machinery that goes faster than you think is allowable or safe is incredibly exciting and thrilling, and this allows people to do it in a totally safe environment.
I like it every time. It's fun every time.
It's wet, wild, and extremely dangerous. Whitewater rafting. The Thunder Rapids Raft Ride at Lake Compounce Amusement Park in Bristol, Connecticut, has brought the sound and fury of this exhilarating sport to anyone who has dreamt but never dared to shoot the rapids.
There's more water there than in the shower I take in the morning. It's great.
You get wet. You get really wet. Super wet. It's exhilarating. I'm soaked.
The 8-seat fiberglass rafts are propelled downstream by water that is recycled every 5 minutes by 2 giant submersible pumps.
What makes this ride so much different than a lot of other raft rides in existence around the world is the water action itself. Throughout the ride, we place round pipes that go across the bottom of the trough to create the waves. And what makes this ride so exciting is its constant movement from one side of the trough to the other. What we tried to do when we did this job was to duplicate a very, very rough, rapid river. This is about as close as you're going to get to going on a rafting trip on the Colorado River. And you do so feeling very, very safe, not only feeling safe, but being safe. Whereas in a real river, there would be a lot more danger to it.
You look at this ride and say, well, we can do this. You know, let's give it a shot. And you can live on the edge for, even if it's just for a moment or two.
Riders begin their extremely wet adventure by strapping into the raft. 2 100-foot conveyor belts lift the rafts 15 feet to the launch point.
This here is the lift hill. Its function is much the same as that of a roller coaster conveyor, where it transports the rafts to the top of the hill, where the raft then gets back into the water and everybody starts having a good time.
You start moving pretty quickly. It gets to go about 25 miles an hour, which is pretty fast. And you get into the first couple of turns and bang, you're hit with water all of a sudden. Then you come around to the big rock and there's, of course, that waterfall that's there, so you're getting splashed there too. And then it kind of lulls you into a sense of, well, this is going to be a nice ride. And then, bang, gets you again. It's not a dangerous ride by any means, but it sure is exciting.
Oh, this has been a great one. Oh, the best one, you're right.
While many extreme rides strive to test the limits of rider endurance, there is one that has pushed the outside of the envelope and ripped it to shreds. It is Superman the Escape. Located at Six Flags Magic Mountain near Los Angeles, this high-velocity, bone-jarring experience marks the beginning of an entirely new breed of extreme ride.
Superman the Escape is currently the culmination of many different kinds of extreme rides. When you take off, it's like being in a drag racer. You go from 0 to 100 miles an hour in just a few hundred feet. When you're riding it, you're riding in a car like a roller coaster. And then when you go up the tower, you go vertically 400 feet, which is a new record in height. You feel very intense positive Gs. It's like flying in a supersonic jet. But then you also feel about 6 seconds of zero gravity or weightlessness, which is far longer than any other roller coaster type ride has ever given its riders.
After floating for a few seconds, gravity takes over, and passengers experience the ride in reverse. Since its debut in the spring of 1997, Superman the Escape has broken nearly every record for speed, height, and zero-G duration. In order to break the 100-mile-per-hour barrier, the creators of Superman the Ride had to invent an entirely new electromagnetic propulsion system.
There was a fair amount of laboratory study, but as everybody well knows, when you get into the field, that's when the rubber hits the road.
But the road to success for Superman the Ride was initially paved with disappointment.
When we first wired up the car and fired the first shot, it went about, 3 feet. And I had to go tell my boss, well, we only went 3 feet. And from that point on, it was just continual development and refinement of the system.
The ride's propulsion system is a simple yet complicated mechanism. A series of electromagnets called stators line the horizontal portion of the track.
Extremely strong field.
Mounted on the undercarriage of each car are extremely powerful rare earth magnets, so named because they come out of the earth already magnetized. As the magnets beneath the car pass over a stator, it is energized, first to attract and then to repel the vehicle.
So we have these stationed at strategic locations. We induce about 480 volts at 2,000 amps into each one of these. So when the car moves onto the stator, they have an attraction and a repulsion. So this is pulling, and then it's pushing. Just like if you had a couple of magnets when you were a kid, and you're turning it this way and it attracts, you turn it that way and it repels. That's in essence how the system works.
By firing at a rapid rate just ahead of the vehicle, these powerful magnets accelerate the 6-ton cars from 0 to 100 miles per hour in less than 7 seconds.
Please watch your step as you enter the vehicle. Make sure your personal belongings.
Finally, after months of fine-tuning, Superman the Escape blasted off into extreme ride history, earning raves for its maximum velocity, towering ascent, and seemingly endless airtime. And just how much time is airtime? Keep your eye on the bouncing ball.
Oh, look at that! The thrill of airtime is just that you're airborne. You feel like you're flying. Very thrilling, that exhilarating feeling of coming up and out of your chair and flying through the air. We can only fly in our dreams without assistance, but this is kind of an approximation of flying. Superman the Escape may very well foreshadow the future of roller coasters, or at least the future of the high end of roller coasters, the very technology, intense, extreme experience that a roller coaster can give its riders.
And as technology rockets us into the new millennium, the future generation of extreme rides will no doubt redefine the limits of our fears, thrills, and imagination.
I think they're gonna just keep pushing the envelope a little bit more. A little bit more intense, a little taller, a little faster, and I think we'll see that.
Here we go!
We're going to see increasing focus on thrill rides, thrill sports, extreme sports, and I think we're coming of age and knowing what it is that turns us on.
Wow! I think extreme rides will always exist because our threshold will always go up.
I'm sure they're working on something that will make all these rides look tame.
And as long as there is an audience, and I think there always will be one, people are going to be inventing new and novel extreme rides of all kinds.
Wednesday. If nature's basic rule is eat or be eaten, then what's that mean for humans? Are men and women natural-born killers? Go inside military training and find out if man shares the kill or be killed instinct. This Wednesday on Discover Magazine.